recently, Bill O'Reilly was speaking about the Black Lives Matter movement. And during his rant against it, he mentioned how Black Lives Matter individuals have been threatening the lives of police officials. He showed some footage of protesters saying, "Pigs in a blanket, watch them fry." And then he opened it up to his panel and he asked the panelists, well, what do you think? Do these individuals actually want to protect lives, or are they advocating for the death and destruction of police officials? Well, take a look at how this exchange went about.
The leadership of Black Lives Matter could have repudiated those things, and they did not. All right?
Somehow,
so that's
not in a
why
broad way. Individuals have.
They did not repudiate it at all. And in both of those videotapes, all right, the people saying the words were members of the Black Lives Matter movement.
But they are not representative, Bill, of the entire movement.
You can say that. You can say that. But if the movement doesn't repudiate, it's like the Ku Klux Klan. All right, you know, are all Klansmen going to hang blacks? No, but they're all in the same soup bowl. All right, because they don't divorce themselves from the group who did do those things.
So he is basically saying that the Black Lives Matter movement is the equivalent of the KKK in that statement. And so his big beef right now with Black Lives Matter is that you don't have a broad statement repudiating what that footage showed, which was them chanting, you know, "Pigs in a blanket, watch them fry." Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't know where that footage was from, okay? But to draw conclusions about an entire movement based on one action is absolutely ridiculous. And it goes even further when you compare a nonviolent movement to the freaking KKK. The KKK is violent, okay? There's no question about it.
The KKK didn't, the problem with the KKK wasn't that they chanted at people. It was that they hung them and burned them and then took home parts of their body as souvenirs after the lynching. That was the problem with the KKK. So if they were similar to the KKK, all across the country, cops would be hiding from black people, huddled in their homes, scared to death that they were going to be burned alive. And then every once in a while, Black Lives Matter activists would grab a cop right in front of everybody, drag him through the streets, start cutting off his genitalia, which is what they did in lynchings, and then burn them and then hang them. Does that happen? No. You know what Black Lives Matter does? They say, hey, can you stop killing us? We would like to be not murdered by you anymore, and we are using our First Amendment rights to protest your government actions. Wow, that sounds like so similar to what the KKK did. So now, ironically, what O'Reilly's doing is hate speech. And why won't the leaders of the right-wing movement in this country repudiate Bill O'Reilly? Why won't they repudiate him? When he said, Tiller the baby killer, and got an abortion doctor murdered, why wasn't he repudiated? When he blames black culture at every turn for every piece of violence in this country, why isn't he repudiated by the leaders? I think white people are at fault for not repudiating Bill O'Reilly enough. Now, that's a preposterous thing to say. Why would all white people or white activists or Republican politicians be responsible for the mad ramblings of Bill O'Reilly? Well, that's the same exact logic that O'Reilly says. Somebody did a chant somewhere. By the way, that chant, they were in that protest, they were joking around with the cops. The cops were right next to them. They chanted that along playfully, which Fox News has never reported to you. So the whole thing's a freaking lie from day one, okay? So, but O'Reilly turns around and goes, that's it, all black people are guilty. All the activists of Black Lives Matter are guilty because they didn't come out and repudiate that particular chant. Wow, that chant really needed to be repudiated. And that's the same trick they use on Muslims. Why won't the Muslim leaders repudiate the violence? Even though they do. And every single event that there is any Muslim violence in, every Muslim group in the country will put out a press release immediately going, we're repudiating, it is horrible, it is horrific, it's unacceptable. And O'Reilly will get all those and go, why won't they repudiate?
It's amazing.
The guy is a professional liar. He's a professional liar and a hate monger.
What I don't understand is why conservatives have an issue with the Black Lives Matter movement so much, right? Because if you know what their mission is, and if you know what they've dealt with in terms of unarmed individuals being shot and killed due to police brutality, why do you have a problem with them protesting and saying, hey, you know what, can we please do something about this excessive force? Which, by the way, doesn't just impact black people, it impacts all people in this country.
No, it impacts the powerless in this country.
Yeah.
And Fox News doesn't give a damn about the powerless. They represent the powerful. And why do they want to do it, Anna? It's the same thing as the pro-life movement. It's not really about The Bible is pro-abortion. It's in Numbers, it's in Hosea, it's in Leviticus. Read the Bible. The God constantly kills babies in the womb and instructs people to kill babies in the womb. He's pro-abortion. Read the Bible. Okay, that's not what it's about. It's about keeping women down. No, they should know their role.
Right.
Okay, and in this case, Black Lives Matter. Why do you care? Like you said, that they don't want to be killed, and no, know your role. Okay, if cops come and kill you when you're unarmed, well, you're supposed to bow your head and take it. Okay, and if you actually bother to raise your voice and chant at me, no, you're the KKK. I'm going to do whatever I can to discredit you, to smear you. The guy always, nonstop, talks about smear merchants. You
That's
know
what
why?
he does for a living.
Because all they ever do is projection.
Right.
He is a professional smear merchant. That is exactly what he does. In the old Bush speak, if he had a job title, it'd be smear merchant. Okay, that's what Bill O'Reilly is.